before. Okay, this time it's working. There we go.
Okay.
Last week it didn't work, so we didn't record because there was some. So those of you who are tuning in, last week we didn't record because there was some hiccup. I don't know. I don't know who watched these things. Apparently people watch the deep dive. This is what I found out at
Really?
at DocACon. There was someone there who had watched like all the deep dives and was very excited to see everyone because they were all celebrities. Because you guys were all on the deep dive. So maybe someone's out there. So hi. All right, Caroline, you're the first box. What you got?
I got nothing.
That's the programming people come here for.
Actually, there's one thing. I did forward those sample letters to Jeannie yesterday, so I haven't heard back from her. But and your deadline, you want to send the letter of intent? Well, sometime next week, ideally before the end of the week.
Ideally before the end of the week. We have to get it into them on the 1st. So we were saying the deadline was the 30th, but that's obviously a weekend. So before the weekend would be great.
Yeah, I told her that you're trying to get it off next week. I didn't say the end of next week, so okay.
All right, and for those of you who are watching and wondering, that's because we're trying to put together a grant application. So if there are any of you watching who are like, I use DocAssembly and it's great, and my jurisdictions use DocAssembly, email us and we'll help you write a letter of support for the grant. I don't think that's going to happen, but if something happens, I'm going to be flabbergasted. Lisa.
Hi, I just have 2 conferences to report. Part of DocACon, and I'd like to revisit sessions, and I'll have to look at where they're posted.
They're all on we have a playlist with them all.
All right. I need those. And then I went to some of y'all, Quentin, you were on this, I think, the New York Legal Aid Tech Conference. I signed up for the virtual part.
I only managed to do the session I was presenting in, but yeah.
Yeah, it had a lot of good stuff, and it was kind of like TIG, for those of you familiar with TIG, for the federal government grants. And I was just messing with some of the apps that they shared through the 25 Tech Tips session, which is one of my favorite sessions at TIG. And there were a bunch of new things I hadn't heard of, and things that were old and updated. And so that was a very cool thing. And they post everything, I'm sure. So, LitCon, cool. So that's all I have to report right now. So they're both great.
And Lisa, the link before that was DocACon. So,
are there videos of them?
Oh, thank you.
Okay, well, I'll ask you later, Lisa.
She said she thinks they're posted. I don't think she has the post yet.
She knows. That was the impression I got. She said, Quentin, you're the next block. Or maybe, there we go.
All right, here I am. Yeah, just trying to get in another round of small fixes for Rate My PDF. One of the tools I shared this week at the New York Legal Aid Tech Conference this week. And going to work on some revisions to our paper about it. And we've been like in the back end thinking about moving it to a different tech stack to make some things we thought a bit easier, which maybe it won't really be a whole lot easier, but still might be worth trying out this new framework. So thinking about that. And then just trying to get through like some of the backlog stuff in the Weaver and assembly line. Just nothing big, no big blockers. The biggest new thing for Rate My PDF that we need to do is to move to background processing, which might end up being kind of a painful extra thing, a big bump in complexity, but I think the path is relatively clear, so we just got to start doing it.
All right, cool. Michelle.
I don't actually remember. Some stuff got the date PR merged in finally, despite my predilection to like discuss things, I suppose. I don't know. Discussions are great, but I know they hold us back sometimes. So that was great. checking out Quentin's reminders, development, and that looks awesome. Excited about that. Did get a reminder at 6:30 in the morning, so just want to put that out there.
It's useful
what-
feedback.
huh?
It's useful feedback.
Yes, yeah. I worked on other things. There's another PR that's out there somewhere about something else. I don't remember if this was week I worked on like the environment variables for the locally running tests, which Caroline at some point I need to introduce you to because I think you'll love them. Not locally running, but in the playground.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
Kiln tests. And I can't remember. I did some stuff. That was good. I don't think I'm particularly blocked on anything. I hope not, but I can't remember right now. So move on.
Bryce.
Blockers, just doing a lot of e-filing stuff. Reviewing lots of PRs.
And I get nothing directly DocAssemble or assembly line related aside from the work we've been doing on the grant, which we mentioned before. And Bryce has been a PR monster. I think that's a good thing.
A good monster.
And double check. I feel like I don't know if I've been more. I did want to double check with y'all to make sure I hadn't been too harsh on PR reviews. I wasn't sure if I had been or not.
I was thrilled. So, and thank you for the shrink wrap PR and update. That is super cool. And the file name length. Oh, I wanted to tell Caroline. So as soon as we can update the old repositories to the latest version 4, we have cut back on the names of the files. I'm not sure if the names are as useful as they used to be, but the files should be more openable in Windows.
Mm,
So we'll see how that works for you.
yeah,
They might be a bit nested for you. I don't know.
I mean, one of the things I did was because I used that spreadsheet for more than just the tests, I
Mhm.
just started naming the files,
Scenarios with the
the
rows.
test row, like you suggested, and then I mean, that was really helpful was having the rows be their own columns so they don't lose the row number. That was, I mean, it was sort of duh, but of course I didn't think of it. So that was really helpful. But I think that would be, I think that's a good way to do it. Because then they're really short, right? They're just row whatever. And then you can
Yeah.
look them up.
Yeah. Well, now they're shortened for you, so you don't
Shortened
have to
for you.
worry about it. So you can keep them as long as you want.
Well, you still have to, if they're shortened, you still have to think of a
good beginning, but I'm saying you can continue to describe them in the rest of the scenario if that helps you
oh, I see what you're
read
saying.
it
Yeah,
later, right?
I gotcha. Yeah,
So
right.
it won't impact the file name length.
Oh, good.
It'll
Yeah.
still be very long in all of the logs, I think, right? It's
Yeah,
only the
it'll still
file.
be
It's only
logs.
like when you're glancing through like a folder of files.
Well, that's
it'll
so that you
focus.
can actually open it once you've downloaded it to your computer, right?
On
Yeah.
Windows.
On
Yeah,
Windows
on
only.
Windows, on Windows, right?
And
So
we'll
Linux
talk-
doesn't have those restrictions, those
No.
file names.
And if you also have to be careful not to nest too deep because they're still long file names.
Mhm.
But if you don't nest too deep, then you should be good.
And by that, I was going to say mostly like I think we had a handful of assumptions that it's going to your downloads folder first. So like, don't put it in your downloads folder and then try and move it into
I
like
see.
documents / like
I
text
gotcha, right.
reports or whatever. Because
So you
Or-
could extract it, or you could extract it in your downloads and then take, if you wanted some of those, move those into another folder.
yes.
Got it. And still be careful about nesting.
I think Windows, and you'll still be able to look at them and open them. I think if you tried to move them to a different folder, Windows would just yell at you then, but you'd still be able to like see everything. So that was the
Oh.
main thing I think we were trying to fix, is that people download things and then Windows doesn't even let you see anything from
Yeah.
what you download. So
Yeah.
All right.
Well,
cool.
I did to get around that. I don't know if I did this with you, Michelle, but I found an online zip extractor. I think that's what I did. And then I could download I mean, it's still more, annoying than just being able to
Yeah.
do it. But I mean, all of that doesn't matter now because you've got your solution. So
And I thought of another way, which is like putting them in like Google Docs or something in your Google folders, and you might be able to open them there. I don't know. We did a lot of brainstorming.
yeah, I tried that, I think, but I can't remember what happened with it. I think Google
Oh,
didn't want to
interesting.
open it for some reason.
Interesting. Okay,
I think
maybe.
it's because Google won't open a zip. That's why. If you put the
Oh,
zip in the
really?
Google, yeah, unless you have some extension for your Google Drive. I think that's what it was. So if you were going to do that, you'd have to unzip it and then, unzip it into your Google Drive
Okay.
somehow. But you
Interesting.
guys solved it, so we don't really need to think about it.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Cool.
Oh, what's in a name? All right, cool. Well, then, anything else for assembly line stand up?